I would have emphasized financial protection, protecting your family. That is super, super essential because obviously investing is cool, is great, but if like me or a parent, it's super, super important that if you were to pass away or get ill, your family is protected. So making sure you've got the right life insurance in place, the right sort of sickness insurance in place, I would say is such a high priority. And to not do that, I think is negligent because for me, I always feel uncomfortable when sort of like a breadwinner's died and then the family is asking for a GoFundMe because that's a tragic situation, but it's avoidable. So in my mind, if you have people who rely on you, it's so important that you've got the right financial protection in place for them.
Thank you for sharing that. And again, I think that's something which just isn't really talked about that
Mhm.
much. There's so many different things about investing and things like that, but we don't need to talk about protection too.
But just jump in that, you know why it's even more difficult in our Christian community? I heard a joke a couple months ago, a couple years ago, and it said that our biggest competition in life insurance is Jesus because they're like, oh no, Jesus will protect me. No, we're Christians. We've got
Really.
to believe. And I was like, of course I'm a Christian. Of course I believe in, but you've got to be wise as well. You've got to be sensible as well. So definitely not just generally, but in our own Christian community, we need to wake up to the fact that let's get financial protection in place. Let's get a will to make sure that when we die, our assets are passed the way they want. So let's do the things that would make our financial life, our family's financial life, better off. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for coming up into that because I think it's really important to understand that these things aren't just sort of necessarily the world telling us to do things, but like it's actually in scripture. And that just reminds me of Proverbs 13:22, which talks about a good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children.
That's true.
So it's important to, yeah, realize that there are lots of different ways to do this in the modern world. And I guess just touching on that, are there any other examples of inheritances that we can leave? And this could be both financial or not.
Yeah, I think definitely everything we've spoken about, if you go through that part, if you go through that journey, then as you touched on, we will leave an inheritance to our children's children. And I think stepping back in the world we're living in now with high house prices, with just cost of living, I think support from parents is almost essential. Now, when you look at how people want to go and do things, buy a house, start families and all that, is very difficult to do by yourself. Whereas now, if you have help and support from family, I know my parents help me and I want to help my kids. I think it really makes life so much better. So I think doing these things, saving, investing, building up finances, having life insurance in place, doing everything to support the next generation, making sure you have a will so that how you want your assets to be passed on, it's passed on. All these things are, I'd say, are leaving the right legacy and will be beneficial for your bloodline.
One way Christians can integrate faith into their finances is through generosity. Some people take a public or private 10% trial or further pledge to donate to the charities or ministries that they believe can best use it to glorify God and serve others. The pledge is promoted by Christians for Impact, a non-profit that helps Christians maximize kingdom impact through their giving. If you want to explore this further, there is a link in the description below. I'll end with a quote from Jesus. Whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me.